Welcome to Red V TV, supported by Chapel House Cars for the 2024 season. And with 4 days to go, see, look, I can count on one hand now.
Well done.
It can only mean one thing, Kevin.
It's time for our number 4. It's Mark Percival. And Mark is sponsored by ProSir.
I am really glad that you looked up how to pronounce the company, Kevin.
And if it's wrong, I am blaming Dan Ashton, the technical manager, because I had to watch a YouTube video for a couple of minutes to make sure I got the pronunciation correct. You're welcome, ProSir.
ProSir aim to be the consultant of choice for BIM and project controls integration. They combine innovative tools with project controls to advance project delivery and help clients mitigate risks and exploit opportunities across a range of projects and sectors by combining project controls and innovative tools. If that's your line of work, these are the guys to speak to.
They are indeed.
Right, Kevin, it is our number 4, Mark Percival. If there's one man I'd like to see wrapped in bubble wrap and nothing else, it's Mark Percival.
And nothing else.
Nothing else.
And
also, if we could keep him fit on a rugby field, that'd do us well as well.
Yes, yeah. Before we started filming, I was thinking, don't know what else I've got to add about Percy. Just look after yourself, Mark. Stop running in like you're an 18-stone forward. But I suppose that's part of his game as well. Like it kind of remains to be seen where he'll line up this season, whether it will be on the left-hand side as his shirt number kind of suggests and has suggested over the past couple of years, or whether we'll switch him over to the right and he will play alongside Tommy Makinson on that side. Your guess is as good as mine, though.
Yeah. The old trope that always comes out is about Percy's injuries, isn't it? He actually made 23 appearances last season, which was more in any season since 2019. So 23 games in a year, he's missed a couple. A couple of them might have been through little knocks and niggles, but nothing serious. But it almost seems to me that Percy knows his body, the club and the physios know his body. They'll never take any unnecessary risks with him. So obviously he's felt a bit of tightening up the other week in training. Don't risk him in a friendly match. And I think it's just about being sensible to ensure that he's available when we need him. Because when Percy is fully fit, I am convinced he's the best centre in Super League.
Yeah, he's certainly up there, isn't he? He's just got such an all-round game. He's possibly one of the best goal kickers at the club as well, even though I don't necessarily think he enjoys that. He will do it if need be, but you can see how he passes it. How Tommy has kind of taken over that mantle as club goal kicker. And I think you're right with regards to the club know how to manage Mark and kind of how to make sure that we get the best out of him. If that means that he's not ready against London, we've got options. We can play Wanga Blake on one side. We can with John Bennison, with T. Ritson, with Connie and Tommy on the other. And you know what? If Mark's then ready for Huddersfield away or whatever, then so be it. These early rounds, yeah, they're a good marker to put down, especially against the likes of London. But all we want is, when it comes to the business end of the season, we've got Mark Percival on the pitch, because you look at how he's kind of grown in past years, and you think of that try that he scored in the grand final, where he kicked it through, ran on and dotted down just ahead of Kyler Moore. With a short in goal, that had to be absolutely perfect. And just the way that he's kind of flourished, really, as he's got older, and he just looks to be more of an all-round player.
Yeah, he is. He's integral to this team, isn't he? And as you say, this is the benefit of having a squad. And listen, we're well stocked with second rowers. We're getting into a position in the back line where you've got options all the time. Obviously, you've got Wonga coming in, you've got John Bennison, T. Ritson, Tommy, who can play on the wing. In the centres, you've obviously got Percy, Harrell, Wonga Blake can play there as well. You've got Ben Davis, who can go there. You could have Johnny Vaughan, who could come in and have a game there as well. You could potentially put John Bennison there if you need to. There's different combinations and that we can put out there. That means that throughout the year, whether it be Mark Percival or anyone else, you don't risk anyone who's carrying any sort of slight niggle. And then, listen, I know you'll always get the line that will come out of any Super League club saying they don't risk players, but you always hear from players at the end of the year how they've played busted. At times, it does happen, and needs must. But if you can get away with that as much as possible, or away from that, all the better.
Yeah, exactly right. And being able to swap and change where needed. I mean, you'd rather have Percy in your team than not, but to say if there are any slight knocks, then you make sure that you've got him for when it matters. So if that is a Challenge Cup final appearance, if that is coming to the playoffs, you make sure you have your best players out on the park. Percy's one of them.
Yeah. Where do you see him lining up this season? If it's down to you, down the left or down the right?
Oh, that's a tough one, that, because it looked like in that trial match, I thought that Connie did really well. I thought he'd looked better from the run out against Swinton. I think he needs that. I think he will line up on the left, and I think it will be with Blake outside him, with Connie on the other side and Tommy on the other side. Unless they decide to completely switch it. But I can just see that being kind of the back five. And we'll talk about that when we get to the Revy TV show on Wednesday. But yeah, I'd see him starting the season on the left centre.
Connie's got that habit of getting himself fit and finding himself undroppable at times.
Yeah. And you've got to say that when he does that, he's so dangerous kind of going forward. I know we can pick holes in some defensive plays, but because he is so dangerous going forward and bursting holes in defences, with Percival complementing that on the other side, proper winger Tommy Makinson on one side, speedster who can play wing and centre on the other. I just think that's how it will go. I hold my hands up and say I could be completely wrong with that, but I just think that you look at last season when Will Hopoate was fit, he tended to play over on the wing rather than at centre when everybody else was fit. Could almost see Blake filling that role, and then if one of the centres does get a knock and he's out for a good couple of weeks, then they might have the trouble of shifting Blake out the centres.
Is Mark Percival being fit and firing another of our keys to success in 2024?
Yes. Yeah. Again, you get the boring old thing of he doesn't find his winger when I find that just it's one of those narratives that you see somebody's put on social media and people absolutely chomp at it as if it's completely true. When we weren't that expansive last year anyway, or didn't it seem like we weren't that expansive last year? I think having Percy in the team is a must if we're going to be challenging for pots at the end of the year.
Yeah, you only realise what you're missing when he's not there.
Yeah, correct.
Right. That is Mark Percival done and dusted. We will be back tomorrow. We've only got a couple left, Kevin. Thank the Lord.
How many videos will we have done in like since we started these? It'll be over 40, I think, by the time we've got to 10:30 on Friday night. We'll have done over 40 videos since the beginning of January, easy.
Yeah, and we're just getting started for the year.
We are. That's what everybody's scared about.
Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll catch you very soon.